Hello and welcome to the fifth module, executing the segmented slices detail. Okay, so we're moving on to drawing the segmented slice line now. We have a base shape for the pith here. So take away the illustrations, we can see it's just a base shape for the pith area just been picked. If we turn it on and we'll just select it there, click onto the swatch, we've got the color values of R217, G235 and B136. Okay, and basically if we just click on and away, we can see that just as the outer rims of the pith itself before we go on to do the segmented areas of the actual fruit. We're going to concentrate within this clip in illustrating the pith, as we say. So we have the pith base there. We're just going to zoom into this corner, click onto pith base. Now we see we've got an outer green here. Okay, so we are going to need to illustrate those areas. I'm just going to quickly tackle that here. So if we just click I for eyedropper and just get this color which is R170, G209 and B58. We're just going to call this pith light green. Okay, excellent. So with the pith light green, again, we're just going to create sort of an outer rim like we say, and we're going to create a layer for it as well and call that just below the pith base, call it pith light green. All right, lovely. Okay, so literally it's just a case of just blocking that in like so. And again, we may go on to put a slight blur onto it. Okay, I'm just going to go view preview CPU so we get more of a pixelated view here. Okay. And one of the main things to remember as when you draw the pith base is that to display the curves. If you look on the outer rims, when you slice a line, like we're saying, that would be a really good exercise to do, to actually have a look at a real line. We can see that the outer rims are not straight. They've got some very interesting curves, which is really cool. So like we say, we're going to convey those and make sure those are evident. So we're going around nice curves like so, and just going up to the top here. We can see that the color does change. It does get a fair bit lighter. So between clips, we'll just go ahead and just create a gradient for that. Okay, but just to give an exhibit. Okay, so that's the lighter portion. We'll go on and create the gradients as we have been doing in between clips. Okay, and just to add a blur. So if we go effects, blur, Gaussian blur, put the blur to around 1.1. all right, so when we zoom out, we've got a nice fade on it. Okay, now look, have a look at the pith itself. So like we say, we've got the pith base. Okay, if we just take that away, we can see we've got the lighter areas and the lighter areas still. So it's very much the same with the light contours that we drew. So the next thing we shall do on the pith base, have a look at a few sections. All right, so we've got our pith base, and we see here we've got a nice light shape where we're showing some first evidence as a segmented portion corner. And that would be a good interesting place for us to start. So again, we're going to get our eyedropper here. Just click I for eyedropper, and we're going to drag that to the swatches palette. Double click on it. We've got a color of R236, G243 and B192. We're going to call that pith lighter 1. All right, that's excellent. So we got our pith lighter 1. All right, and we're literally going to create a new layer and call that pith. Let's call it pith lighter for now. Okay, literally we're just going to come along this edge here like so, and just draw in this lighter area. Okay, same kind of technique. So we want to get some nice sharp grooves, making sure, let's go back there, the curves weren't drawn too well there. Okay, we want to, when we zoom out, have a nice realism and those highlight shapes. Okay, so this is the first evidence of that lighter pith transition from lighter to darker. and we want it to look nice and real. So that's a decent shape for us to start with here. Put our opacity up to 100 and we turn on the Pith base, and we can see that clearly along the Pith base. Okay, and that's cool, but what we want to do is ultimately create a blend. So we're going to use a linear gradient, so we're going to change our gradient to linear. We're going to get the Pith lighter, put it to the left hand side, and we're going to get the Pith base to the right. And you can see that it fades out as it would do. And literally just click onto our gradient annotator so we can see what's happening and where. And we're going to go from the inside and just drag out so the darker parts become lighter on the right hand side. Okay, and we're going to do that a few times. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is just refer back to the reference photo. Okay, so it does fade into each other like so. Okay, and that's basically a technique we're going to use to tackle the pith. All right, so again we'll have a look at another area, and we may just extend that slightly. We'll just extend the shape because it does come out a little bit further than that. We've fallen a little bit short, so let's draw some more. Okay, you can be pretty inventive as long as we're keeping the contours in form to what we are drawing. Ultimately we're drawing the pith. Okay, like so, and literally just going to use the same gradient. So we're just going to get the eyedropper tool, and we're going to use our friend the Pathfinder Unite tool, and there we go. And we're going to make the right side a bit lighter. We're just looking at the reference photo, we're a bit dark. Okay, and then we're just going to turn that back on and have a look. Okay, so basically that is how we're going to build up the pith in regards to the light contours, and just go on and through and just continue with that. And also the outer rims around the top. So if we turn on the base, we can see that we're quite a bit darker than what is. We need to continue the pith light green and put any freckles that we need to do in between clips. Okay, so basically that is how you apply the pith detail to the lime. Okay, so what we're going to do in between clips is go on to complete the pith detail, just going all the way through, variating tones, and we're not concentrating on the fruit areas, we're concentrating, like we say, on the pith outer rims here. Okay, and maybe a little bit inside there, this section here, this quadrant section here in the middle. And then what we're going to do in the next clip is we're going to go on to draw the fruit segmented sections of the sliced lime.